I didn't notice that I had everything muted. Fuck's sake.
Oh boy.
Life of the
Welcome.
streamer.
Peak, peak scuff. Don't worry, we all go through it. Let me know when we're ready.
Well, big content. People, big content. A delay because I didn't organize really good, and well, pretty much a Tori stream. So, Mokai, will you introduce yourself once again?
Yeah, sure. My name is Mokarui. I'm a wolf lady VTuber, and I stream on Twitch.
Nice. Ice, will you introduce yourself? Since episode one didn't upload on YouTube because I didn't activate the BOD for that.
Greetings from the void. It's your boy Enigmatic-ice. I'm also an occasional streamer from Twitch, and I'm just here to spread love and positivity throughout the platform for all my fellow VTubers.
Nice. Tonight stream podcast is gonna be about Chicago City. We are gonna be talking about a more general way. No, Moku, there is no music. It's the sound of the fan I have in the living room because in Mexico almost every day is open, and actually I shouldn't. The episode 2 podcast should not have music because I forgot about the possibility of getting a copyright uh, notification. So, which I received when I was uploading that. There is a moment in the video that there is no sound, and that's because of that. A bunch of bad decisions in there.
Oh, trust me, DMC, you're gonna love it.
Yeah,
You're gonna learn to love to hate it.
yeah. Actually, I had
So,
a copyright free playlist in Spotify, but that music was not really. Uh,
I feel you.
is not. It was not that bad, but I don't know. Was not enough.
Mm.
Uh, let's 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 keep us on track.
Let's keep it on track. Okay, so
Not a-
I usually share the investigation, which in this case of for the case of this podcast, the investigation is I found web pages and I read what I'm seeing on screen. There is no script because Tori does not know how to do a proper script, except if it is for high school. But in there, we put a lot of BS, like
All
good
right.
amount of BS. So, we're gonna be starting with a timeline that I don't know if this if there is something that is not correct in this timeline. If any of you know something, you can say it.
All right,
And
got you.
do you hear our Discord noises? And that's because I I don't have the Discord uh, installed in the PC. I use the Discord web because
I
I don't have too much space. Sorry.
It's okay.
So, do you guys in the subject text? I share a link. It's supposed to be what I'm watching. It's gonna be a little timeline, and I don't know. Maybe we can reduce some of the dates. Really?
so oh my.
I don't
We
know.
need to go do not disturb till
Do not disturb.
probably.
My God, there was a
Pup,
lot of things I didn't
we'll,
know.
we'll fix it down the line. on the
Yeah.
way. We just got to keep it moving though.
Oh my god, it is. It was so easy to find. I didn't
Okay,
notice this. I can't
so
believe in 2 seconds Moku make me feel more dumbass than my title. Oh my god.
in the meantime, I'm gonna sit while Tori figuring the situation out. Let me lay down the basic foundation. What we do know about Chicago right now, Chicago's the third most populated city in the U.S., right behind New York City and Los Angeles, respectively, with a population of plus 2 million populants, and is the most populated city in the Midwestern area of the U.S.
Okay.
And it's
So,
located on the southwest end of Lake Michigan. For anybody that's interested in geographical positioning.
oh my god.
Mm.
There was a space for showing maps and all that stuff, but since I didn't notice that the background didn't work really well from Twitch Studio to Streamlabs. Well, we have Mocha.
Oh no, no. For
So,
maps, I could pull up. I'll pull up Google Maps and I'll be able to provide that. I'm not sure if we'll be able to see it on stream, but for our guests, I'll pull it up so we'll be able to see it effectively.
uh, this is peak Tori Productions content, people. What I mean by Tori Productions is me and me and me. It's only me. I don't have editors or anything like it.
All right, let me know if y'all see it right here on the maps.
I failed geography, so I mean,
I know just enough to get by on a fundamental level.
Okay,
So,
I think we can share it. I might need to move Mocha a little bit, but I think we can. Give me a
you
second.
can, yeah. I've moved my
Oh,
big old head.
it was a weird mashup that somehow it worked for 5 seconds into the stream.
we'll pretend it still worked.
Oh
I
my.
thought you planned that. It looked so good.
Actually, no. When you sent me both PNGs, I was thinking, well, what if I mash both up?
Yeah, no, it looks funny. It
It was almost like in the moment.
was a good idea.
Excellent
Oh,
planning. So right now, I'll get the map up and going.
okay. Give me a second. I window capture. Yes. At source. I don't.
Nice.
I
Are you
don't.
looking at the link Tori sent us? Or do you
Taking
have
a look
me?
right now.
I don't know how this
It's the
will look.
history of
Okay,
This has to be.
hold it up.
This used to look really good on the screen. Now it looks terrible.
You can crop it.
uh, just for everybody understanding. Okay, you know what? Let's show it like this, just so people know what Ice was mentioning. Okay, Ice, everything is on the screen.
All right. As you see in the geographical position of the U.S., we are part of the Great Lakes in the U.S., and we are located on the southwest end of Lake Michigan, which is located in the Midwest area of the U.S. So nearby neighboring Indiana and on the south end of Milwaukee. So, so,
Milwaukee.
so these are the lakes. So Detroit, Indiana, Milwaukee, and they all share the same lake, Lake Michigan. It's their geographical positioning.
Where's Michigan out of all that?
Michigan is right above Indiana, right here.
I love Michigan.
Looks like an oddly shaped um,
It's like a
winter mitten.
it looks like a dragon or a salamander.
I can see that, which is
I,
actually an
I,
extension. Which, ascension to into Canada if you get across via bridge. But topic
I was gonna say something stupid. I wanna leave it at that. I wanna leave it at that.
everything Gurney, DeKalb, from Gurney to DeKalb, Aurora down to Hammond, all considered Chicagoland-based areas, including Joliet, Tinley Park, and Frankfurt. So this broad area is just considered a big nexus of the extended Chicagoland area because the city is so massive.
Well, we're gonna see a little bit
It's
of
a big
that,
place.
but like many places, uh, can can I fit this thing here? Can I fit it? Something weird. Okay,
Uh,
we're gonna leave it at that.
if you hold if you hold Alt, you can like uh
Alt.
crop whatever. Like no, click on the little squares and hold Alt. You gotta bring it inwards.
Ooh. Oh yeah, this link. Let's take a look at this.
Oh my god! I how did I mess that up?
I can teach you it later.
Yes. Oh my. Actually, just to tell everybody, the background you're seeing, I was actually working on doing a design by myself, but I didn't have time. I got caught up with other stuff. This is not the final design for the background. There is a more uh, stylish design.
It's a
It's a work
work
in
in
progress.
progress.
It's a work in progress because I didn't have enough time to finish it. So
Life is a work in progress.
I feel that. So we'll go with the timeline and the in this page, which it's from the Chicago Public Library.
Excellent source.
That's actually the second source I found. Somehow
And that
I only searched for Wikipedia, uh, something about hotels, about the iconic places. Oh no, wait, wrong. Oh yes, it was
oh,
from the Marriott. The most
Cloud
famous
Gate.
places in Chicago, but the list went off. Who knows why? And seven urban legends of Chicago.
Probably some. I'll throw in some history there because you'll see how the history and the urban legends probably intertwine, especially with architecture.
Yeah, but most of the time is people getting drunk and seeing things. That's their own demons
That
haunting them.
that too.
Okay, so prior to fuck's sake, prior to 18050. Oh my god, my English is not that good.
Okay. All right. What you looking at? Which number?
I'm looking from the beginning, but I don't know if some of this stuff is only necessary. This is U.S. history. I'm not from the U.S. I'm from Mexico.
Okay, I got you covered. So basically, what you're looking at from the 1673, you're talking the Marquette and Joliet Explorer site of Chicago. It's most likely when they went have introduced themselves to the Potawatomi Native American tribe that was in the area at the time.
So this is the beginning of
With
Chicago, in essence.
yes, from 16, yes, and but the big but the big boom for Chicago when it first started to come around was when John Baptiste DuSable he arrived in the area. He was he's considered a founding father for Chicago.
Oh, okay. So it is a date that is here before DuSable first arrived in Chicago.
Yes.
Oh. Damn. There's a lot of things in Chicago I didn't know.
Yeah. the Black Hawk War, which I'm pretty sure was expeditioners from the east end of the U.S. when they were
Okay.
going towards the west end,
Oh,
expanding.
here's the Hawk War. Okay, so it is Margaret and
Yeah.
Juliet explore side of Chicago, then the mission of the Guardian Angel in 98, 96. All this in oh
Oh, okay.
600 and
I think I might.
600. Huh? I
There
can.
is one spot that I think chat would really like to hear about. The From the 1832, the cholera epidemic in Chicago. The reason why I picked that one because that was a spark for one of the seven wonders of architecture in human history.
Where is that?
So to give you a backstory on that, 1832, right underneath Black Hawk War,
Oh,
which I think
The epidemic.
epidemic.
the cholera epidemic hit Chicago.
Just to give people advice, all the links of the web pages that we are going to be showing on the Tori podcast stream are going to be on the description of the YouTube video, as they're going to be on a Twitter post that is going to be made at the end of the podcast.
Okay, I clicked the link. It was showing books, but I'm gonna just give a quick synopsis.
Yes.
So, when they were becoming an actual functioning city around the time, like they had a town area with town halls and areas of work and warehouses, they were building their own sewage system because you need to get rid of your waste.
Mhm.
So, since they were not advanced yet, they were mostly dumping all the waste or human waste primarily into the Chicago River, which led into the Lake
Ooh,
Michigan.
ooh, ooh.
The problem is that's also where you were getting your drinking water supply from. So
Yeah.
and since it was flowing into the lake, yes, they were drinking residues of their own human waste.
Hot water.
So
Hmm.
that's where the cholera epidemic stems from. Just that, and plus the sanitation efforts were not advanced at the time.
Yeah,
Mhm.
just
So
like
they needed a way to try to get rid of the waste, but also preserving their drinking water. So they did something that that's unheard of even to today. What they did was they built canals and they literally reversed the flow of the river. So instead of flowing into Lake Michigan, they reversed it so it would go down the Mississippi River and down into the Gulf of Mexico, basically carrying the waste south southbound. And
makes
in case
sense.
people wonder, was basically if not getting across, they basically just reversed Mother Nature on an architectural level.
To throw shit.
Yes, just to get
The human
just
mind, in order to throw shit to nature, created an
to send it elsewhere.
yeah.
Wow.
Actually, sounds pretty amazing, but when you see it in general, is
I wish I had a list for it. I think I might. There's a small excerpt I have.
damn.
A 28-mile long canal was built between the Chicago River and the river that drains straight into the Mississippi because because the Chicago River and the Mississippi River meets intertwines at the bottom of Illinois.
Okay. So you guys know, just to give advice, I have no idea of this whole thing because the only thing I knew about Chicago was from we're gonna see it a little bit more later, uh, but it's because of school and gonna be a little bit of commentary in there. But okay. Oh, and here's supposed to be an image of the Chicago landmarks and how things were, but I don't know.
Basically, Chicago from the West in 1845. What we're looking at. Hold on, Mocha
Ooh.
asks. Wait, isn't that the canal that has electrical force field that repels fish and prevents invasive species from swimming into the Great Lakes? It should work like that, but a few years ago in the 2010s, we had an Asian carp problem inside Lake Michigan. So was it effective? Answers will vary. It, you'll be surprised at what you'll find in Lake Michigan.
I gotta be honest. That's a way to solve things, but it might not be the best, but it is a way.
Oh, they got in trouble. Trust me, they ran into a lot of legal troubles because of that.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's like throwing a taser into a lake, pretty much. I don't know why I when I said that I was listening to your answer to Moku, and I was thinking a bunch of people throwing tasers at the water.
Oh no! Hope nobody going swimming that day.
Well, let's ignore Tori imagination for a moment. Okay, so from 1833, Chicago incorporated as a town. The first newspaper, the Chicago Weekly Democrat.
Published.
Moku, Moku, ice. Let's go swimming in it together. Somebody's gonna.
Oh, wow.
Someone might not come out of there. So, Chicago Fizz newspapers publish. Wait, so I have a question, and this is a question in general for the U.S. What is the need to tell? What was the need to tell the if a newspaper was a Democrat or Republican? I have no idea for that.
To be, I'm not gonna hold you. I don't know either.
Okay.
I would say for the newspaper at the time, people have to remember. Well, for the U.S. citizens at the time, you have to remember during the 1833s, the Republican Party was not really a thing in the U.S. It was just mostly Democrat or break off Democrat parties. So it's probably just a name to catch people's eyes at the time
Okay.
because it was just mostly the go-to.
Mm. Well, not
So I
bad.
just want to
It's
just
marketing.
clarify that out there.
So,
Yeah, it worked.
well, it worked so well that in 4 years, Chicago was incorporated from a town to a city. That's pretty amazing. 4 years.
Yeah, impressive, honestly.
That's holy crap. That's a lot of work that you did in a short amount of time. That's terrifyingly good.
Let's see how much time it takes for nature to claim all that and throw it to the trash. Chicago incorporated
Oh, not
as
too long.
Chicago first local theater company established, and in that same year, Chicago oldest building business, CD Peacock Jewelers, founded.
I'm not sure if
Really?
it's still open.
Probably not.
Let me see.
Oh,
I would not be surprised if it did.
okay. This is interesting. I didn't know the scholarship. You need to pay for that in because it says here that in
Oh, it is. Actually, it's
800.
driving.
Oh, that's interesting. Old ass building, still on the works, still working. So in 1840s, 40s, free schools established. What is that? I don't get it.
Where you see that at? Oh, oh, quite simple. It's most likely public funded schools because
Okay,
that
okay.
was not very
So it is like
very
saying
common.
that the public. Uh, okay, okay, okay. Schools funded by the government. Okay, okay,
More
okay,
than
okay.
likely.
48 first issue of the Chicago Tribune published. 47, 48 Chicago Board of Trade founded. Uh, 48 as well. Chicago Hall completed the
Oh,
first
the border trade.
railroad.
We'll, border trade and the railroad. We'll come back to that. That'll be very important later on.
Okay, so now the only thing is
Yeah,
important is that it got completed. Okay, it got found. Okay,
yeah,
so
and
Chicago First Railroad, the Galeana, and Chicago Union Railroad completed. So these are stations, I believe,
yeah, because the
train
railroads
stations.
they were expanding. They were a big booming business venture in the 1800s and the mid 1800s because you know a high fancy means of travel back then.
Okay,
So they want to build the railroads by any means necessary.
just to give people and a little bit of to clarify to tell you how advanced was the U.S. at the time. The first railroads in Mexico was what in oh 2 years late after you guys in Chicago the both train stations were completed, and it was just in a few places in Mexico, and not even they were not used for commerce. Actually, they were used more for transporting people only, and well, it was not the best, but it was something I believe. The same year, Illinois and Michigan Canal completed. Wait, Illinois and Michigan Canal,
Oh yeah,
and in that well,
that's what I was saying.
that was a big year, 48 for Chicago. The telegraph was in the reached Chicago that same year.
Oh yeah, they would. As you see, we would just speed run and try to get bigger and better as possible because Chicago is a lake based city, so you had food based off the lake. You should get your fish and supplies. You can be able to ship things over the waters, so it was a very good port city.
Okay,
Whilst and it's also sitting next to Canada.
just a reminder to everybody, all this stuff is in around 2 to 3 years or almost 5 years from one thing to another. It takes minimum 5 years to happen something in Mexico, and that's not even because of the bureaucracy of the government. It's just the people didn't want stuff, and now we live in a shithole. So, on 55, Chicago Police Department was formed. So wait, from the founding of Chicago up to 55, there was no police. I'm confused now. God damn it.
Mm, I find it hard to imagine that there would be no police or some kind of reinforcement. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Oh, every well, they had an official unionized police force.
but the police department was
You know,
for. I don't.
yeah,
Okay,
those details get very murky.
okay. Uh, that same year, what is this? The larger beer riots. What's the larger beer riots? What is this?
Oh, wait, lager beer. Oh yeah. Let's not worry about that.
Why?
Just know it's another case of alcohol mixing with a large group of wrong people, it's going to cause a bad results. That's all you need to know.
That pretty much started the revolution in Mexico.
Basically.
Basically, yeah. Okay,
Huh.
what is the
Huh.
okay straight degree race that same year? The next year, Chicago Historical Society was founded. Well, something. Next year, Academy of Science found. Okay, so all this stuff is just Chicago growing and more,
Yeah.
pretty
Is
much.
there any questions you have, Mocha? Or are you just still observing?
I'm just observing because I don't know very much about like the history of Chicago because I've just been, you know what I mean?
Okay, just to people reminding,
Well,
Ice is the expert on Chicago right now. You have Mocha and I just listening and trying to understand what Ice is saying and what we are supposed to be reading, and all the stuff I was supposed to investigate, and I didn't investigate.
well, just keep in mind about all this rapid growing success. It's going to come to a screeching halt later, and you probably know why.
Hmm.
Because then we got the Union Stockyard, which is actually, actually, I'm not that far away from, believe it or
Oh,
not.
so
The
okay,
stock,
okay. So there is a little bit I know from the Chicago city on architecture history level, but that's only until the Great Fire of Chicago. Before that, I know
yeah.
shit.
Well, the Union Stockyard basically it's it's the larger industrial part of the Chicago city. Basically, all your warehouses, your steel mills, your all your basic necessity factories that you had in that city that were shipping things in and out so the city can build more. It was all located within Stockyard.
Okay.
So historically, that place is critical because it's basically was the heart and core of why the city grew so much.
So it was because of it was a main factor, the industry.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was basically one of the forefronts.
Wait. Oh, okay, okay, okay. I didn't. I wasn't asked about this, but I will not ask. I understood right away after reading it with a little bit more of brain.
Oh, and the water tower. Oh, that's also gonna come. That's also gonna be important later.
You mean 2 years later with the Great Fire?
Oh yeah, yeah. You just want to jump it. You just want to rip the band-aid off with that.
I don't know if I should tell this story because it's your city. But
Well,
when I was in high school and university, there was a teacher that had a lot of fun telling this story because she went to Chicago. That's not important to the story, but the story goes that in a farm there was a cow. For some reason, the cow kicked a lamp. The lamp started a fire in the wheat of that farm, and for some reason, all because of the wind, all the fire went to the city, and there is a great fire.
well, it's just a rumor or it's just speculations about the cow. But to get, but to basically straightforward, yeah, a lot of that city, while it was expanding, a lot of it was built off wood, and you don't need to be a rocket scientist to know that wood and fire don't mix well. And it
It
didn't do
is.
that much. It didn't do that much damage. It only burnt down like 17,000 buildings. You know, burnt down probably like 2,000 plus acres,
Oh,
and killed about 300 people. It was not that big,
it was not that big, and
and it
just
would and it wasn't. And it cost $222 million in damage, which in today's standard would be $4.7 billion. It was not that bad.
uh, I remember
You
that
can, I'm
actually.
totally not being sarcastic.
Yeah, that. Yeah, let's not fear a cow with red eyes and fire in the background.
But you know what's funny?
What?
You know the only building that was standing basically unscathed? The water tower.
Okay.
The re-
So
the
did the
reason why? Because the reason being because while most buildings that burned down was made out of wood, that building, the water tower was built out of limestone. The more you know.
the more you know. There should be a little bit of
Any
music there,
questions?
but I there's a lot of trouble. And actually, I cannot have too many things on because of Streamlabs. Sorry.
Any questions, Mocha?
No, sir.
But just just know that a barn caught on fire. Wind carried the fire downwind. A whole city, nearly 2/3 of the city burned down.
Yeah, and whatever you
And
wanna
this
see it,
where we
and whatever you're gonna see it,
and
and
this where shit gets
where what?
yeah, it's dicey.
Dicey.
Well, if you see it
Yeah,
on a
once
different perspective, from the Great Fire, and I don't think this is mentioned here, but from that time there was a bunch of architects who were jealous from they had a lot of jealousy from architects on Europe because obviously the architecture in Europe it's history, so there's a lot of stuff that they mock used to mock other architects from other continents for not having more interesting stuff or architecture that was recognized worldwide. So when with the Great Fire of Chicago, those young architects, saw Chicago destruction and misery as a great opportunity for them to start what they believe was gonna be the School of Chicago. But basically, it was just Renaissance architecture modernized.
ah,
So yeah, if you see the old the more oldest buildings in Chicago, and you watch buildings in Venice or Italy, the basic structure or basic uh,
the
designs, it's
the
very
structure for
yeah.
yeah,
With the
which is funny because
difference,
when you go,
uh-huh.
oh, go ahead, continue.
I was gonna say that the only difference is actually the materials used for the construction are supposed to be the modern version, but the only thing that they
Easier
did,
to upkeep.
uh huh, that was upgrades. But
Easy,
the
yeah,
only new thing was that they use a lot of steel.
yeah, because the steel rush during the 1900s, it
Mm-hmm.
was very it was very popular because it was strong and it helped you build even bigger buildings, even more grand buildings. Which is why when you go to Chicago today, it held up so well that when you go to Chicago today, especially in the downtown area, it's like you step into a damn time vault because you're going to see some modernized buildings, but you're also going to see some architectures that is that's damn well over 100 years old. So
Actually,
Moki, you say you came to Chicago. You've seen some of the buildings I'm referring to, correct? Give her a second.
she maybe
But
fell
yeah,
asleep.
but let's. I don't blame you.
No.
Oh.
What you said.
No, I was texting my mother. I'm sorry. What did you say?
When you came to Chicago, like we was talking about, like how when you going to Chicago, some of the architecture held up so well
Right.
that the architecture still stands up over a century. So when you walk downtown areas, it's like you step into a time vault. You see like the old architecture. Like when you came to Chicago, do you notice that yourself?
So there was some architecture that I saw that I can't quite remember, but like the main place that I went though was the Chinatown area. That was like the part I was most fascinated with, obviously, because I'm interested in a lot of like Asian cultures and stuff like that.
Oh, Cernak.
Um, yeah, the buildings and stuff they got over there, they look so. It just looks so cool over there, like with the arches. It looks like you're doing it like a time warp or something crazy.
Yeah,
Well,
that's what we were saying. Like the steel rush, it basically helped those architectures be preserved much more efficiently.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
even though some architects do not say this, and I say it because I'm a student and I'm dumb. Actually, the School of Chicago, which is the way that it's being referred to all the old architecture of Chicago nowadays, is the base for what is known as international architecture. International architecture is just a standardized architecture. You have all the basics that are needed, but all of this is based from the architecture that was being done in Chicago. So Chicago is actually pretty important for architecture students in, because of how important it became on the future. There's
Actually,
actually, if you pay
yeah,
attention to the buildings and all the materials that are used nowadays with the in the exterior and interior, the version that is being called vintage is basically old Chicago buildings. That's how important the architecture in Chicago has become.
which is basically like a first come first serve. Do your craziest inventions possible
Yeah,
in a way. You'll see that in some of the landmarks too.
yeah.
Mm.
I don't know if we should continue with this timeline because this timeline is way too long, way more longer than I anticipated.
It's a Yeah, there can be a lot of things that get foggy in details, even for me. So it's up to you guys.
I don't know. I mean,
But the main, but one, but one of the main timelines you do have to talk about with Chicago is definitely the 1920s because that because the 1920s had the massive repercussions on the reputation of Chicago even for today. And I say repercussions because that's, well, ladies and gentlemen in chat and for Mocha, that is the start of the Prohibition era.
Hmm.
And for Tori, if you're, I know you're not in the U.S., the Prohibition era is
I know
when
what the probation era is
not
because actually a lot of people in for some reason reporters have been referring to the probation era with the cartels in Mexico with in the time frame of the president Calderon when he started the war against the narco traffic, making like
but yeah,
similitudes, but and I don't. I mean, there is a big difference between the mafia using machine guns to kill the Italian mafia going against the Irish mafia, and the cartels in Mexico where they use rocket launchers
yeah,
inside the city. So there is a big difference. But then again, you have Mexican reporters who need to make things more uh, interesting for people. If a
but
rocket
Right.
launcher in the
the,
city was not enough.
I'll drop me. They'll find a way to one up it. But the reason why the Prohibition era was so important because that was not just a law; that was literally a United States Constitution at one point, which it which it has a lot that is grave because that's basically saying under any circumstances, if you're fine with alcohol of any sort of a point zero 0.04, it's illegal. So that made it's so draconian that it made sauerkraut illegal in the U.S.
And that's how you make Mexicans illegal in that time frame. Honestly, almost all the population in Mexico drinks. So
And that's actually what happened because alcohol is really ingrained in human culture. People will still actively try to go out their way, try to find and get alcohol by any means.
you might know that.
Mm-hmm.
But since you can't get it by legal means, it there was a demand. It was a high demand because not everybody had it. So the cartel came in, or the mafia came in. My apologies. The mafia came in and they supplied it,
They're
and they
ba-
made banks off of it.
we can call it
And with
organized
Chicago
crime.
being such a big, yeah, organized crime.
Yeah.
Yeah, since they supplied it with a lot of alcohol, and Chicago was such a large city at the time, and was such a high profile nightlife, it became it became one of the hottest points for selling it for the mafia.
Makes sense. I mean, everything that is prohibited, people will pay a lot of money for that.
Which actually people back then had mixed feelings about it because yes, they were breaking the law, but at the same time, the mafia was also funding for additional architecture. So a lot of the neighborhoods around Chicago where a lot of precedence and reputation, it was it primarily had help
I
from the
mean,
mafias or organized crime funding it.
there is not too much that they can do about it. Basically, that's what organized crime does. They contribute to the city, so the city has a moral dilemma to accuse them and lose all the funding, or ignore what's happening, but with the risk of losing your life on the long term.
Oh yes,
But you also
you're
get
damned
to
if you
keep the
do, you're
building.
damned if you don't. Yeah,
But yeah, there's a lot of
which in
things. Damn.
the 1900s, that when you start to see a lot of the architecture start to pop up. The the Ravinia Park, the
No,
Garfield Park Conservatory,
I'm seeing that.
then the National Historic Landmark of Wrigley, Navy Municipal Pier, which is now known as Navy Pier, saying Grant Park Stadium, Union Station, which is the big hub for which was the big hub for the train lines that was still popular even for the 1900s. Buckingham Fountain, Municipal Airport, which is known as Midway, and
Mm.
they did a thing called Straight Up the Chicago River, which is goddamn they did it again with more architecture on the lake. And Jesus Christ, can you do anything else? Can you do anything more with water?
Mm.
So
I
we
mean,
had a mayor assassinated. Let's skip over
oh
that
yeah. Wait, where was the major assassin? I saw that. Give me a second. Where is it?
part. 1933, but we're gonna pretend like we didn't see that.
Why?
The because we know that's gonna have major repercussions for later on.
I mean, consider what happened in other countries. If we go once again, Mexico, an example. In the 90s, we lost possible the best president that Mexico could have, and he was killed, assassinated by the members of his political party. And during the pandemic, we actually lost a good amount of politicians because they were against of the political party in office nowadays. So that assassination,
But that's what I was saying. Yeah, that's why I said it's gonna have massive repercussions down the line. It always do.
Mhm.
damn,
Which,
they kill
which we keep.
a mayor in Mexico, nothing happens. They kill a mayor in the U.S., the whole system goes crashing down. Why?
We're not used to it like that.
Yeah.
That's that's still considered an anomaly half the time. But as for the land, but the thing is, it was just talking about mostly opening up landmarks, which we can start to talk about now. The landmarks and architecture go hand in hand.
Well, you know what? Let's go to the iconic places that apparently the Marriott says they are in, according to the Marriott in Chicago. Okay, okay,
I can
okay.
already name, which I could already name you three. They're probably going to name right off the top of my head.
Okay, tell me those three, and I will tell you if they are on the list.
The Buckingham Fountain,
Give me a
the
second.
Cloud Gate, also known as the Bean, and Navy Pier.
Okay,
Navy
just
Pier.
Navy Pier is here.
Wait,
Yeah, that's
and,
where I
Okay.
and look,
went.
go back. Wait, go back up before. Wait, go back up before Navy Pier. Go back up. Go all the way back up. Sorry.
The Millennium Park.
Eh,
I'm gonna be honest.
You see
I
Yeah.
where?
actually was hoping for, I don't know, an structure base of the Millennium Falcon for some
Oh,
reason,
that.
and I
Oh, that's
feel
Cloud Gate. That's a Cloud Gate.
yeah, but I
What?
got a little bit disappointed.
Oh no, no, no! Don't let the picture fool you. That thing is massive.
Oh no, I know, I know. I
That
actually there was a study, but the translation from English to Spanish, uh, things get mixed up.
yeah, I feel that. Which I know that those landmarks were gonna pop up because they always do
Yeah.
without fail.
So wait, what's the Navy Pier? One-stop entertainment spot with an iconic Ferris wheel. Okay.
It's right. It sits right on the lake, so you can get on the boats, get on the Lake Michigan, or you can take the architectural and float across the Chicago River, which leads across the downtown area. Or yeah, you can just do, or you can just go into the main building and check out some of the hot commodities or some of the hottest restaurants Chicago has to offer.
We got some good food.
Nice.
A spoiler for the tourists. Spoiler for the tourists. There are much better restaurants than what's inside Navy Pier. Just ask the natives; they'll tell you where to go.
Just to notify people, don't trust either the tourists or the natives in Mexico. You're gonna get in trouble. Believe me, I even being a Mexican, I got tricked by other Mexicans, and I was pulled over by the police. But let's not go into there.
But that's a story for
So
another day.
that's a story that shouldn't be talked. Okay, so there are more stories like that, but I shouldn't tell those. I could probably get called out. Okay, so where was the other two places you mentioned? It
We got
was
Buckingham. But I see they brought up the Chicago Walk. Go back if you go back up a little further, where it shows like the
uh,
lakeside right
yeah.
there.
Okay.
Yeah, walk right on. You can walk right on top of the Chicago River, which is actually a very beautiful walk
Mm.
because you can see like the emerald green of the lake just flowing down. Which they
And
sometimes on St. Patrick's Day they dye bright leprechaun green.
oh wait, so they dyed the water green.
They would, yes, for St. Patrick's Day, a holiday in the U.S., they would dye the river green, bright green.
We celebrate San Products Day in the state that I live. The only problem is not that the water is not dyed green.
It's just something to catch a lot of people's attention
It gets
because they
green, but
usually do like boat tours during the time.
it gets green, but it's not because of it was dyed. It was a lot of other stuff.
But if you want the idea how it looks like mocha, I would say Google it. You
Google it.
wouldn't, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I have only been in the River Walk of San Antonio, and
Wait, how do you spell it?
for some reason I got lost in
Chicago
there.
River, St. Patrick's Day.
I didn't get to visit them. Actually, no, I did see the it's in the Trump Tower and everything, and oh
Oh,
my god, it looks like booger water.
And what I was saying, emerald green, leprechaun green.
Is this why you like emerald green grippers?
We're gonna say that story for another day. I knew that was gonna come up sooner or later.
damn.
It had to come up.
Well,
It had. I knew it was coming sooner or later.
that that uh, that brings a whole new meaning to green water. That's actually fun to see. It
Yeah,
makes me sad.
if I that's a but the Trump building that's the second that's currently the second tallest structure in Chicago at the moment.
That's the second.
The number one tallest building, the second tallest building in the city is the Trump International Hotel Tower.
Okay, okay, okay. So,
The
well,
number one, number one being the Sears Tower,
hmm, there's a lot of
which they will
landmarks
have a.
that.
Oh yeah, and I see they bought up Soldier Field,
I mean, it does
which
look a
actually got taken off the,
what?
which
What's it
actually
called?
did get taken off the list.
Hmm,
Park. I know that the Ravinia should be up there.
the Rabinia. I think
What else we have?
I don't know. Now I don't know. The only things I knew was the ones that pop up in here. I think I should have let you do this stuff because you know more. I should
Well,
have asked
okay,
you.
for for tour. Well, I'll speak from this perspective of how I'm talking to a tourist. What would y'all like to do if y'all was being tourists and y'all had a week to spend in Chicago? What would y'all like to do? What would y'all like to see?
I'm a boring person when
Mm,
Because
it's about tourism. I just go around, walk around.
that's what I did when I went. I literally just went to like I literally just googled what to do, and I went to the what's the leaning tower shit.
oh, the John Hancock Center.
I did not. I couldn't go because okay, so we went and like it was really foggy, not foggy. It was cloudy and we couldn't see shit. So they were like, um, you might not want to go up there. There's nothing to really see right now.
Well, the it's a like a it's a skyscraper with 100 stories on it. It's called the John Hancock Center. They have something called the 360 observation deck, also with
I
a
hate it.
platform where you get to tilt. You get to tilt from right outside the building so you get a lean over view over the
I
city.
hate it. I hate it.
It
It's
sounds
dangerous.
terrifying.
Wait, this place?
Yeah.
Yes.
It looks good.
Yeah, and
Except when you see
on
it
the
You
in
one
gotta see
here.
side,
the videos though. There's videos.
I have a question.
the
Why
biggest
in this
building.
photo, the building looks like I don't know, like Empire Strikes Back or Empire from Star Wars building.
I think it may have inspirations from it. I'm not gonna lie to you. It came from 1965, so who knows?
Probably.
The videos are the most terrifying thing though. Like it looks fine from the outside, yes, but the videos and where people are like tilting is, or when the building is tilting is awful. I hate it.
But if you want to talk about terrifying, yes, we're gonna have to talk about the Sears Tower, which
Okay.
unfortunately I hate calling it the Willis Tower.
Okay, give me a second. I'm putting a
And you can Google.
video from the John Hancock Center.
Okay, take your time.
Yeah, I actually had to shut this down because I don't want anybody see my YouTube feedback from the Tori 9823 account. The last
Fair
time
enough.
a certain person from this podcast saw my feedback on a social
They
media,
had
she mentioned
they
that I
had
was
several questions.
watching adult stuff,
Wow.
and it was a bunch of VTubers showing their commissions.
Oh my! Oh no!
And I forgot that I was streaming because she says to stream all the stuff. Okay, so which video should I pull? Are you guys seeing this?
Yep.
Yes.
I wonder how does this look like on the stream because I have a small screen on the Streamlabs. It doesn't help really much.
Well, I have excellent eyesight, so I could see it clearly. Minus the text, I can see the video clearly.
Okay, okay. The important thing is the video. Okay, so which video? Which video? Which video?
Take your pick. But yes, you see how they're leaning over,
What?
like doing a smooth criminal lean, and so
Oh,
yes, that's exactly how it functions.
okay, okay, okay. So this is a
That's how
video.
the 360 observation.
Let's take the sound. This is the video of the John Hancock building antenna. If
Oh, they're
somebody
on the rooftop.
if somebody has a trouble with heights, do not watch this for the moment. I forgot to mention that.
Nice nice panoramic view.
So wait,
Do you want the? Do you want? Do you want to know a terrifying fact that while I'm observing right now?
what?
He is currently elevated over 105 plus stories of off ground level.
Okay, let's pause this for a moment.
Meaning, what you're saying right now, he is currently 1,000 feet off the ground.
Then you're gonna be a little bit scared of this. Give me a second. I'm
Can
gonna
I
do
get
the
more
music.
terrifying?
Yeah.
Uh,
You're gonna see a bunch
Well, for
of
me,
people flying on the sky, type in 1 foot, and that is
oh,
Mexican culture at its peak.
but
Okay,
well, that's coming up. Oh, is up
I
already?
okay
Cool.
yeah. Are you seeing this? Are all of you seeing
Yep.
this? Okay.
Are
So these
you
guys,
seen this, Mocha?
uh,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
okay, these ropes, each one of these is for one of these guys. This little structure here moves. This thing
Oh,
goes around. Okay,
oh,
where is it? Oh, are you seeing it? It's moving.
yeah.
And you have a bunch of old men and young men in there.
I I'm very concerned where this is going.
Oh, it's pretty safe. I think there has been only like 3 fatalities recorded, but I think there has been
Record it.
recorded. There's has been a bunch, but that's because let's say that piracy in Mexico. If you have secondhand, uh,
Documentations of the
no,
incidents.
secondhand people, people doing a secondhand job of what you're doing, you are famous.
Ah,
Do you? Well, let's pause this thing real quick. Do you remember the episode when Homer in The Simpsons goes to the clown school
they can't. Yeah.
and Krusty has needs to have one fake Krusty clown per state?
Yep.
Okay, so those fake clowns, when you have, for example, let's say you are a clown in Mexico, You know that you are famous when there's like 100 fake clowns with your name on it, and a little something else to say that they are you, but they are not
Oh.
you. But let's move on to this.
Let's see where this is going. This can't be that bad.
Now you see this guy standing up. Oh,
Yeah.
by the way,
Bruh.
I
okay.
don't
Oh
like
no.
it.
By the way, this rope right here is a safety measure. So if that
I don't
thing
trust
A
that
fails,
rope.
rope.
A rope.
Um,
pray
my
to that
sister
rope.
needs help with something. Give me a second.
Okay, take your time, Mocha.
Okay.
Mexico is big. Oh, by the way, these people is not. They are not drunk. They are sober.
I I I would be terrified if they were drunk doing this.
There is some people in Mexico that do this kind of stuff drunk.
Which I'm not surprised about that.
Somehow they survive. There's supposed to be music, but
Um,
there is a lot of sound in the video that from people
you just
and all that stuff
the,
that you cannot hear the music. But
yeah, okay.
okay, so now with the more intense moment, here we go. Oh, there's a lady here.
Oh, oh no. Oh dear.
Don't worry, they're gonna be fine. Like I said, like almost 3 fatalities recorded.
In a single video, I just seen I could hear a million people's souls divorce their bodies out of
Uh,
just sheer fear.
don't worry, they're fine.
Hey, I think I got one more architectural point to show you.
I think that's. Oh, they are up to this level. Well, this is a more simple one. There is. What is it? There was something was the tallest. They were flying literally.
Oh, the tall, oh, the tallest building.
No, no, no. They did it on a tall pole, and
Oh,
it was a more interesting thing. But I think my feedback is gonna show up in here, so let's quit it. Anyway, those
uh,
are
that's fine.
the Papantla flyers, and
Which if we're looking at this video,
yeah, that video was this part of Mexican culture.
oh God,
Yeah, Mexican culture. Well, it depends on the region, but Mexican culture, on the basics, there is a bunch of dumb stuff mixed up with alcohol and food, especially food. Well, this guy is really up there. Wow.
it's fucking nutty.
Eh, I mean that's something. What? What is the Magnificent Mile?
Oh, the shopping district. Yes.
Wait,
The
is
Magnificent Mile. It basically
wait, is Mocha back?
some of the
No, she's not.
not yet. The you want to hold off the Magnificent Mile for the time being
I don't know. She might be.
until she gets back.
Yeah, but I don't know. Shall we move into something more interesting for everybody? Because I think that I was gonna
Sure.
try making the history of Chicago more interesting, and for some reason I got lost.
Stuff.
I got
You're
no,
fine.
I got lost because I didn't know any of this stuff.
Uh, Me,
Wait,
I know just enough to help us fly through it.
yeah, that was that, and I didn't got have enough time to fix up the background to make it look like something more interesting. I only had
But yeah,
time
this.
to put the titles for everybody here.
But the last thing I want to talk about for architecture. I still want to talk about that Sears Tower. That's our baby, our pride and joy.
What?
That was the former number one tallest building in the world.
What's the name?
It's outside of Chicago. It's called the Willis Tower, but
Uh,
inside Chicago, we refer to it as its original name, Sears Tower.
Willis Tower. Hmm. Wait. Oh, it is this tower. Oh, it looks really tall.
It's 108. Is 108 stories tall, 1,451 feet.
Damn, it is tall.
And like I said, it used to be the number one tallest building in the world. Currently sitting at number 23.
Hmm.
Reason being because a lot of international architectures really stepped it up.
As I mentioned before,
It,
international architecture comes from the School of Chicago. So basically, the Willis Tower is a product of Chicago, in a way.
ah,
I mean, technically speaking, the School of Chicago set up the basics for the next architecture movements that came by, that they tried to they went from making a building without texture, without anything, just solid.
glass it.
Not necessarily, but yeah, the basic in a way.
But yeah, most
Then
architectures, well, the Sears Tower was the last big line of architectures that use steel for their frames. I will admit that because you can tell by its body how it's have a solid black feature
yeah,
protected from oxidation, so it won't rust. It was last of that steel line.
well,
Most of the modern skyscrapers, it started using lighter. It started using lighter but stronger metal. That's why you see a lot of new buildings have solid glass frames.
hmm. Well, it does make sense, but here's the thing: it is not that in architecture steel has been stopping use. It's still being used in the structural level. The thing about it is it's really expensive, and not only the steel, the equipment, and having the people certified to use the equipment and be prepared for all the job on all the risks that comes from doing that job. So making concrete buildings is less cheaper. It's more cheaper than doing a building with steel, and in a
That is
sense,
true.
it's less dangerous. It's more safe to build with concrete, but uh, there can be accidents here and there.
Yeah, but if you but count on the skills of your workers, you can get some very not only can you get some sturdy but very marvelous masterpiece.
Yeah,
Like the example, the second tallest building, the Trump Hotel.
I have a question. From the time that
Sure.
Trump, Donald Trump was making his campaign for the presidency, it was the Trump Tower or Trump International Hotel where the Mexican who made the photo on Twitter saying, here working and eating tacos at Trump Tower. It became,
Yeah.
uh, it,
Either it,
it,
either
it
either
might,
become a meme
it
or
became a meme.
people got mad.
Yeah, and for some reason in Mexico that became like an inspirational flag. We have our standards of inspiration really low.
You know I can't even judge.
There was a time that Goku was an inspirational subject for students in public schools,
Well, like I said once again, I can't even judge.
and we voted for a comic to be president of Mexico. God bless Cantinflas.
It could be,
If you
it could
don't know
be
what,
worse.
if you don't know who I mean, is this guy. You guys probably have heard of him.
One Prudential Plaza, the Grand. Oh yeah, I forgot. I forgot about some of the residential high rises.
What?
Looks like a handsome lad.
This is a comedian. No, not comedian. Comic called Cantinflas. Well, his character in the movies was Cantinflas. His name is Mario Moreno. This man is responsible for giving joy to Mexico during a long time. Unfortunately, his adoptive son became a disappointment to the country, and he set up the rest of the legacy up to drugs and a sad ending for everything.
Trust me, it's more common than you think.
Yeah. Oh, what? Oh,
That-
those are the architecture they mentioned.
yeah, some residential architectures.
Okay, I should tell this because I wanted to say it, but I was waiting. If you guys heard me say that when I heard about the Millennium Park, I was expecting a Millennium Falcon type sculpture in a park. It's because of
What
a simple thing.
translations?
Give me a
But
second.
not only just a cloud gate, but also you got the twin water sprouts,
Please
which is
look
like
it.
like a 3 story. You got a story tall water sprout system. You got the cloud gate. You got the ice skating rink, and you got the theater stage. That's all outdoors.
Wait, in here
It's a park.
in the San Saint Regis.
No, in no, oh no, not the St. Regis, but the Millennium Park. That's all in
Oh,
Millennium Park.
okay, okay, okay. Well,
It stretches like a the park is like a mile long.
since I saw that in a cathedral in the US they built a Darth Vader gargoyle, I thought, since I was a kid, well, maybe in the US the Star Wars is something really important for the people, so they maybe have sculptures in public parks. And then hearing the name Millennial Park, that happened.
You think you're gonna see something akin to a Millennium Falcon?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, they had a different meaning.
Yeah, all because of this. I got confused. Oh, and coming back to the Cantinflas conversation, he participated in a few Hollywood movies, and he won an Oscar, I believe.
Okay.
And he participated in a program in the U.S. as well. One of the few men
Really?
in Mexico, one of the few men in Mexico that actually make Mexicans feel proud. Also, the reason why people in Mexico, especially in Mexico City, were voting for him, putting because back then you have four options: the Revolutionary Independence Party, the the what should be the National Action Party, the Labor Party, and you have the opportunity to vote for other person that was a candidate at the time.
Oh.
And around that time, time of election, a movie that he directed came by called the the what was the name? The Senator or something like that. But it was a character that he made was a politician, but it was a politician with principles, something that you don't see. It was a
Not
politician
off.
that actually believed that his work was for the people, and the people was not the people in the politics, but the people that was suffering in the streets. There was a few speeches that I actually use in Mexico modern day, but he became the for that movie he was voted by almost half of the population in Mexico.
Oh.
Now you see how desperate were Mexicans back then and nowadays.
There's a line that's called being down bad, but then again, we in the U.S. mayor, we give jobs of being mayors to former wrestlers. So who are
Yeah,
we to judge?
yeah. Actually, here's something interesting. In Mexico, when Donald Trump became president, there was a lot of people that said, okay, maybe Donald Trump is not the best option, but this tells you something about the US that needs to change in Mexico. What was that? That you don't need to be a politician in order to be a president of the country. You could be a businessman, a millionaire, or a teacher, or somebody else.
Basically, it's telling you that your leaders can come from anywhere.
Yeah, the thing is that Donald Trump that later on became a horrifying symbol of that. So
Could be worse.
yeah, that's true. Well, moving back to Chicago, oh, I want to tell that about this, but I also want to tackle the urban legends. But Mocha is not back.
Well, we could tackle
I'm back.
magnificent. Oh, welcome back.
Sorry.
Okay, so shall we tackle? It is the Saint Regis, the what was it? This place, skyscraper.
This the skyscraper.
Oh no, Mag. Well, we left off. We held off on talking about Magnificent Mile
Um,
because which Magnificent Mile? Ah, Chef's Kiss.
Well, it does look
It's
really great.
it's a lot. It's a commercial. It's a shopping district.
Oh, so it is
and they got some,
from
and
this thing, the where was it? The Magnificent Mile.
it got some very beautiful, very beautiful shops, and some of the best shops that some countries, some of the world have to offer
Oh,
that open
nice.
their residencies here. Some some high level Victoria's Secrets, Akira, top deck Rolex shops. So yeah,
Hmm,
it's really good.
that's nice.
I
Uh,
cannot
just a small
I
reminder.
cannot
I cannot ice.
yeah.
Continue. What were
I'm
you
here.
saying?
Yeah, so if you have like a lot of money to spend and you want to get something nice and luxurious,
That's
then
the
yeah,
place.
come down to yeah.
Oh, nice, 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 nice. Okay. So, just a small reminder to everybody on the chat: if you guys have questions or something about Chicago, type in the chat or ask Ice directly on chat. He's the expert.
A lot of these places I know from firsthand experience how beautiful they are because I've interacted with those areas before, including the places you do not want to go we're we're not idiots. We all know there's places in Chicago we should stay the hell away from.
Every city has some of those places. Okay, so moving to the 7 Chicago urban legends you will never forget from the webpage known as Only in Your State. Okay,
What we got here?
okay, so I'm gonna read all this stuff. Ice, if there is something you wanna add, just say it.
Sure.
Okay, so an old city famous for its famous crime. Chicago is rife of urban legends, talk to locals know enough, and tales of these strange occurrences will likely come up. Be warned, though. Though these creepy rumors are not for the faint of heart, unsolved murders, disturbing clowns, and make Chicago one of the most frightening places in the country if you're not bothered by nightmares. Go ahead and keep
Wait,
reading. Wait, so Gotham City was based on Chicago?
wait. The clown. I know. I know that one of the areas. If you talking about, okay, I apologize. Repeat that again. If I continue further.
Okay. Unsolved murders, disturbing clowns, and more make Chicago one of the most frightening places in the country if you're not bothered by nightmares. Go ahead and keep reading. Fuck's sake, why does the word butter? It sounds like butter. I'm saying butter.
Oh,
Fuck.
oh. If you don't like to have it laid on thick, or you just want it straightforward, the clowns already know who they're referring to. John Wayne Gacy.
No, well, doesn't mention John Wayne Gacy. I know who that is, but no,
Yeah,
he's
which
mentioning something.
I'm shocked because that would definitely be number one. That would definitely be number one if you referring to clowns and crime.
Hmm.
One of the sickest fuckers to ever live.
Well, let's start with number one. Wait, should I say like chills? Should I try it? Okay.
Mm,
No, no, no. I'm not gonna try. I'm gonna laugh about myself, and I'm gonna forget what I was saying. Number one, whole house haunting. It is rumored that the charitable lady of the house in the 1890s, Jane Addams Hall, took in a
oh,
child who was being given up by its mother. Many believe that child was that of Satan's, the devil, yet hold care for it in the attic until it pass. Visitors have reported seeing the face of the devil in the house, which now a museum. God damn! Does this person does not know how to write in English? Is that this person worse than me? There's a couple
Probably.
letters that they should be in there, and I know I forget to type some words or letters, but I'm dumb. This person is on my level. Let's. I don't know. So, what do you think of the whole house? It sounds like many places in old colonial towns.
They don't even crack the top 10 of most terrifying places. To be honest with you. What about you, Mocha? And she probably gone right now. But yeah. Well, hopefully the microphone's not muted or unplugged.
Mm, I don't have her unmuted. I actually have her on the maximum, and I don't hear anything. Mocha, are you alive?
If not, then we have to keep it moving.
Okay. Number two, Resurrection Mary. Shall this be said? The title should be Resurrection of Mary, but okay, let's go with this. Give me a second. Rumored to have been killed in a car crash while her boyfriend in 1934. Mary is a young, blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl who asks men for a ride home. Once they stop at Archer Avenue, near Resurrection Cemetery, she disappears. Oh, that's why the title is not Resurrection of Mary. Resurrection is the name of the cemetery.
There must be some in the outskirts.
Who the fuck names
Who the fuck
Resurrection?
who?
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Who names a cemetery Resurrection? Since when?
Somebody,
I don't know.
somebody who's a fucking psycho.
Too many weird things. Okay, let's go for the.
It's all fun and games. It's all fun and games. You see a loved one just walking around the cemetery. It's a time to just nope.
Pet cemetery.
At that point, you just nope, just leave.
Yeah.
No questions asked, just leave.
Oh, here's John Wayne Gacy, but it is on the side note. Okay. Number 3. Homey the Clown. Homey. How do you
Hold me
pronounce?
the clown.
Homey the Clown. Okay.
Hold me the clown.
Yeah, that looks like a happy clown in the picture. This is one of the city. This is one of the city most timeless urban legends. In the in the 90s, 91, children were apparently lured into bands. So
Mm-hmm.
okay, by a man dressed as a clown.
They're,
Okay.
that sounds about right. And
I mean, on the
them
weird,
kids.
on the normal scale of weird, it's usually men telling kids they're gonna get free candy.
This 2022. You gotta tell me to get free Wi-Fi. You don't care about
Yeah,
candy anymore.
that maybe the guy has in the band a hotspot, but okay. Okay, going back. So, Chicago Police Department looked into the matter and ruled it nothing more than legend. Locals still believe this man roams the city preying on children. It is called pedophiles. Maybe some of them they dress as a clowns, but nowadays I don't know why will that work. But okay.
Yeah, there's no other way to dance around this one.
Yeah. Okay. Number four, German Church Road. In 1956, two young sisters, aged 30 and 13 and 15, were found dead on the side of this road after heading home from a movie. Locals believe their ghosts still haunt the streets, trying to get home. So basically, any teenager killed in a side road. I know that sounds cold, but every ghost story about a teenager appearing in the road is a side road murder.
Huh.
You're gonna have a bunch of them in every city, state, or country. Okay, the number five, Tilly Klimek house. Many do not know about the Chicago serial killer who murdered all three of her husbands. The man will become miserably sick and die soon after. Gold diggers. It has been reported that with her last husband, even when he was feeling better, the woman bragged about the deal she got on a coffin. Klimek was convicted of her crimes, and her house still stands today. Local report feeling strange when they are near the building. Hmm. Sick ghost men? Probably? Honestly, this doesn't sound too terrifying so far. Because we have
Yo,
missing children,
because
a missing child, uh, a girl who was killed, pedophiles, and side road killings. And in here you have a woman who of a long time ago killing her husbands. So far nothing that hasn't been heard before, and not too
what I'm
scary,
saying,
honestly.
don't worry. Oh, don't worry. It's gonna get worse.
Okay,
It tends to.
number six, the Teresita Baza possession. Now we have a possession. What's gonna be, a ghost or a demon? Type one for a ghost, type two for a demon.
Why don't they just mention the Congress Hotel ghost?
It's probably, I don't know. Maybe we check it
That would have
later.
did. That would have probably did more. That probably did more favors because that's an active running. That's an active running hotel. Hell, even I've been there.
Okay, we're gonna show it another five, and maybe we show up a YouTube video. Okay, so the Teresita Baza possession. Guys, type 1 for a ghost possession, type 2 for a demon possession, or type 3 for the girl claiming dementia.
Dementia.
Dementia? Okay. Nobody's typing, and Mocha is not back. Mocha, are you here?
We'll keep it moving.
Okay. A young woman was found with a knife in her chest inside a burning Lincoln Park apartment in 1977. Legend has it that a woman married to the deceased woman co-worker went into trances and channeled Baza, revealing her murder and uncovering stolen jewelry. So there was no possession. It was what? I don't get it. I mean, the basics is a woman kill another woman, but for what? Stolen jewels? Still not that scary, but
Yeah.
obviously but not unrealistic. Okay, number 7. Bodies under Lincoln Park. Well, what was previously a graveyard became a public park in the 1860. As many graves were unmarked, not all were excavated, leaving many plots to be built on top. When the Chicago History Museum was built, digging for the foundation revealed heaps or heads, heaps of bones.
What the hell are you doing taking hip bones? I'm just getting weird.
I don't know. I'm gonna search on Google. I don't understand. Heaps of bones. Heaps of bones. Heaps of bones. Oh. I get it. Are you seeing this?
Wait, type it out in chat so I could be able to search myself because it's too small. Cause it seemed like it's just a cluster right there.
Yeah, it's a bunch of bones. Yeah, a pile of bones. Why do you don't
Like
say
a
it?
catacomb.
Yeah, apparently. Well, not that weird for what I have heard of old buildings. Okay, this is another 5 scariest urban legends from Chicago by Joseph Evertrand. I hope I said his name correctly. This note is from September 10, 2018, from the webpage called Sparefoot. What the fuck? Oh,
Uh-huh.
he has videos, and we mentioned okay. Here, the only thing we haven't mentioned before is the Candyman, but the rest is the Homie the Clown, the one we mentioned before. Haunted Harpoo, we didn't talk about this one. Resurrection Mary, we mentioned it before, and the Devil Baby of Hull House, the one we mentioned before. So we're gonna mention the Candyman. Okay, Candyman. In 1982, the horror film Candyman, set in Chicago, now demolished, Cabrini Green Public Housing Complex, was a box office hit. The film followed with a graduate student writing a thesis on urban legends who learns of a local legend claiming that a murderous Candyman with a hook for a hand can be summoned by saying his name 5 times into a mirror. I mean, you're gonna
Candy,
start imagining.
Candyman, oh, oh, I know about Candyman because we have a movie about Candyman.
Yeah, but it's supposed. I don't know. It's something about the movie as well. Okay. While the movie is actually based on a Clive Baker novella based in Liverpool, the movie also appears to borrow from the real life murder of Ruthie May McCoy, a resident of the Grace Abbott Homes project in 1987. After the According to the reporting from the Chicago Reader, McCoy was murdered after an intruder broke into her home through the medicine cabinet in her bathroom. The same circumstances as the death of a character named Ruti Jian. How do you fit? How do you fit in a cabinet medicine cabinet hole? That doesn't make sense. I don't know.
Sir, are you underestimating some people's ingenuities of chaos?
Yeah, but I mean, even for that.
Hello.
Welcome
Welcome
back,
back.
Toma.
Sorry, I got hard aggro, very hard aggro.
Hopefully everything's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're gonna start watching
family arguments, you know.
ghost YouTube videos of Chicago.
Ooh, okay.
but we're talking about scary urban legends, and so far nothing that emotional.
Yeah, so I have to suggest the Congress Hotel.
Mm, okay.
It's not
Because
even mentioned actually here.
that's the one most people will tell you about when they talk about ghosts in the city. Because
Oh wait, there is more text to the one about the Candyman. Okay. After the film release, rumors surfaced that young people in Chicago, especially in the parts of the city that resembled the crumbling public housing complex featured in the film, were living in fear of seeing a real life Candyman wandering their neighborhoods. What the fuck? Director Jordan Peele is also in talks to make a modern version of Candyman, so get ready for a talk of this urban legend. This this is unnecessary, and this is a bunch of teenagers not understanding what a movie is, or probably there is
it's basically filler.
a crazy man with a hook. Okay, the one that they didn't talk about before, Haunted Harpoon. The same year, Chicagoans. What the ice? Is it? Does this work exist?
Hmm?
I'm trying to look. Is there a way you could enhance it? Like, can you stretch out the screen so I can see it?
I'm gonna zoom it in. Okay, the same year,
Uh,
Chicagoans were seeing creepy clowns. Oprah Winfrey original talk show was still on the air, and taping episode from Harpo Studios on the city not yet hip was Loop. Harpo was
yes.
long believed to be haunted because the building previously operated as an armory building where the bodies of many of the 844 passengers and crew who were killed in the 9
But yeah, I'm guessing that word up
1915.
top, Chicagoans.
What is people from Chicago, or is that a
Yeah,
team?
that's just no, that's a term that you call people who native from Chicago. They just call them Chicagoans.
Chicagoans. Okay, we learned something today. Well, we actually learned a lot of stuff, but let's move on. Killed in the 1915 Island disaster on the Chicago River were taken there. Over the years, some staff members reported hearing unexplained footsteps, whispers, and old-timey music, not to mention a full-bodied apparition who's been dubbed the Grey Lady. Today, the building that once housed Harpoo is now home to McDonald's brand new Chicago flagship restaurant. So, would you like fries with your hunting? The fuck? I want a pizza with my hunting, but okay. Well, this was disappointing in many ways.
Yeah, like it was kind of ass about the ghost stories.
The fact that Ice, someone who is from Chicago, was disappointed as well, it tells you about it.
'Cause I know we have more. I actively know we have more.
Mm-hmm.
That's what.
Okay,
Hey,
okay. We are. I'm searching. I'm gonna put this title here.
ready for some ghost videos, Mocha?
I'm always ready for ghost videos.
Oh, that reminds me. People, there is a poll in Twitter if I will keep streaming Phasmophobia. The votes are. Just give me a second because I need to check this on the phone. Okay, the poll. There has been 7 votes. There are 20 hours left for the poll, and the favor goes to downstream the game. 43% is for just stream the game, and 57 is for downstream the game. So the results will be at the end of the poll. So if you haven't voted for that poll, go vote, and let's move on with this. Okay, this is a video from Chicago Magazine. The title is the don't fucking translation. Okay, the 5 scary places, haunted places in Chicago, explained by an expert in ghosts and a historian. So this is gonna be interesting, or maybe not.
If these are gonna be interesting, it's gonna be
All
shit.
happened in
There's
the
no
East
in
Tower.
between.
One of the great tragedies in Chicago's history, the largest loss of life.
What it looks like there's screaming. Room 441.
Bodies had a tendency to pop up out of the ground.
I'm Mark Seaton. I work as a tour guide for Chicago Hauntings.
My name is Bill Savage. I teach Chicago literature, history, and culture in English.
Okay, this guy does look like a historian. He looks like a teacher. And this guy over here is, I don't know, it looks like somebody who got stuck in the 80s. But okay. Let's move on with this.
He look like he's about to smoke a pack of Marlboros.
Why?
Why not?
Oh, I forgot. The subtitles are in Spanish. Give me a second. Sometimes I don't want to read. Here, English. So if you guys don't get to hear, you can read. I think you know what? Let's put this thing a little bit more bigger. You can read the text, right?
Let me full screen it. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or not thought about, but they're more larger historical events and socioeconomic realities.
Okay. A little bit of a heads up. Yeah.
Did your volume up?
Yeah. If there's something you can mention about this, before we hear the explanation of a ghost hunter and a historian.
Marina City. Those twins. Oh, this is right. That's just right over the Riverwalk. Right then, sitting right. It's neighbor to the Chicago House of Blues. Oh my God, it's gonna be a shit show and a half. But yeah, let's turn the volume up. I need to hear this.
Okay.
There's been reports, definitely between the 60s and 70s,
I still can't hear it.
horrible deaths that have happened there. There's a few construction workers who died while
Maybe
they were
it's on my
building it.
end.
A few of them plunged to their deaths. There's also been a few suicides that have happened inside Marina City, a couple of murders that have happened there as well. There was a young woman who was stabbed to death, a man who shot his mother and then he killed himself. But one of the things that gets to be bizarre about it is that out of all these reports, they've all happened in the East Tower. The question is what's going on in the East Tower that caused it.
Low security, probably. If you have a
No,
bunch
because
Mhm.
they have security at the low level, so that should not be a realistic factor, unless it was a breakdown that happened inside the building.
Okay.
There's all this strange phenomenon to be happening, or these accidental deaths. They've seen shadow figures inside the towers. There's also reports of having cold spots inside the tower, people feeling bouts of depression.
Marina City is concrete, literally, concrete evidence of the racism and white flight that shaped so much social policy in this city in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. Think about the name. It's Marina City. It was designed to be a self-contained city within the city so that white middle-class people
Yep.
would have somewhere safe
Marina
to
Towers,
live.
all right.
The fact that you could live in that building, park your car in that building, do all your shopping in that building, and never have to leave it. You're not in one of those changing neighborhoods.
Okay, just a reminder. There is a bunch of architects nowadays that they mention that the concept of Marina City is new, which is proves that it's not. So
I didn't know.
fuck off, all the architecture teachers that say lies.
Yeah.
That probably is gonna cost me something, but okay.
On the south and west
We know there was a fucking lie.
sides where white flight was happening due to white
I actually believe that lie. Don't sell that.
racism.
Ice.
Eastland disaster. Uh-oh. Um. Why are you looking at me? I'm innocent.
Let's ignore your small title up your head called the Kimura Void Watcher.
Hey, it's better than the Gripper Lover.
Okay.
Obviously, one of the great tragedies in Chicago.
I think I should change it to war crime, war criminal.
The city.
The Eastland was a boat. It's about the
I
size
don't know.
of
I
a
think
cruise
the
ship.
Groper
It was
Lover
docked
is
in front of
just
the Reed Murdoch building on
the
July
classic.
24th, 1915. After the boat capsized, there was 2,500 people that went into the water, and 844 people lost their lives.
Oh dear.
Families.
Nobody famous was on that boat. Nobody famous.
Yikes.
Unlike the Titanic. It was working class people, immigrants from the Western Electric Company on Cicero and Berlin.
They brought the bodies to the 2nd Regiment Armory, and that building later on would become famous because it was turned into Harpo Studios in the 1980s. For the site,
Wait, just a reminder. I said Harpo.
Oh!
It's Harpo Studios. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, I thought you were saying it with two O's.
Okay. That's why let's continue.
people
Well,
have reported
that-
hearing
oh, that
screams
shit
of
is
terror
haunted.
coming
Oh,
from,
that ass is
the
haunted.
river, right where the Eastland was docked.
Fucking the eyes. The levels, the scale of hunting by eyes. That shit's haunted. That ass is haunted. Oh my god.
Well,
Being
the
seen
place-
in the water. There's also
I know one
reports
thing.
of people seeing.
I'm never
people
playing
drowning.
fastball on that bitch.
Harpo Studios, well, where Harpo Studios was, they tore it down last year. There's reports of seeing ghosts and apparitions inside Harpo Studios. The most popular one was the Gray Lady, who they believe was one of the victims at the Eastland tragedy.
What I think should really haunt Chicagoans about that disaster was how long it was ignored and covered up. For almost a century, most of official Chicago ignored.
Here's the fun thing. Then every time nobody famous dies in a massacre on a big event, a big tragedy event. If it can be covered, they do their best for to cover it. So it shouldn't be a surprise that probably the Chicago government tries to cover it in order to avoid any bad reputation.
You see, that's what you call prolonging the inevitable.
Yeah.
Because people are going to find out whether you wanted to or not.
The skeletons in the closet are gonna show up later or sooner or later.
Ignored that event. It didn't reshape any policy. Unlike the Iroquois Theater Fire, which helped create safety standards in public buildings where you have panic bars, other tragedies in the city have literally reshaped the world and how we relate to one another in space.
Ice.
Yep. Prairie Avenue. On the south side? What? What's going on here?
Wait. Does Ice doesn't know any haunting story near his area?
Well, I'm not a fan because the fact that I'm more concerned about getting shot than getting haunted. And what kind of ghost you know is gonna haunt? What kind of ghost you know is gonna haunt low income?
A low income ghost?
Damn.
If a ghost has Section 8 in the afterlife, they're just sad, bro.
Sad life and sad afterlife.
That I would just fade into obscurity. I don't even want to go to heaven or hell. Just erase me.
Oh my god.
The hauntings that take place there is mostly associated to the Glasner house. It's haunted by the architect, Henry Hobson Richardson. When he first designed the building, he never got to see the actual house completed, but there have been reports that people have seen his ghost inside the house. Also, over at Prairie Avenue is where the Fort Dearborn
Probably because he didn't
massacre,
get any
took
recognition.
place, back in 1812. In the 1980s, there was a construction crew that came through and they started doing some digging. They were doing some road work, and they ended up unearthing the bodies to the Fort Dearborn massacre. And ever
Hold on.
since then, there's been reports.
Are you taking time?
Okay. Okay. So far, it's probably the ghost of that architect is because here's the thing: for an architect, it offends him.
Essential and crew.
It offends him that somebody comes to his design and change it, especially somebody who is not an architect. So he feels disrespect. Probably his soul is haunting the place because the place was changed without his approval, which
You
sounds dumb,
failed me.
but I mean, it's probably someone who is really proud of his work. So, and Native Americans hauntings are really common. I mean, in Mexico there is a good number of those, and if you go hunting in some places near their territory, the guys tell you to never go alone because you're gonna be hunted and probably kidnapped by the spirits of the natives. So it's not recommended. So, but by the way, coming back to what I said before, this guy really does like he got stuck in the 80s. Leather jacket, curly, almost curly hair, going everything behind.
The man looked like he just got ripped straight out of fastball. Like we're about to leave out Tanglewood.
Yeah, basically
What
a
is this shit?
Phasmophobia character.
Oh God.
What?
That you have no idea how uneasy that makes me feel.
Why?
Kind of want to have to go play fastball sooner or later.
You know you gotta.
Fuck.
Yep.
uh,
Always before bedtime. Always.
just a reminder to people that if I don't stream Phasmophobia, that doesn't mean I'm not gonna play it. It's just that if I play it, it's gonna be on off stream on my personal time,
Yeah.
but
I
not
feel
on,
that.
but not on stream. So let's continue with this.
Of spirits and apparitions popping up in the area. More specifically, people have stated of seeing these ghosts running, and what it looks like they're doing is screaming.
Prairie Avenue was a prime example of first neighborhood being built up by the rich and being an opulent place. The big industrialists in the city had their mansions down there. When the north side became more fashionable and the Palmers moved north, that area in the near south side was abandoned, and it became part of a vice district, part of basically a ghetto and a slum. And that deterioration, that class movement across the city is something that I think should be paid more attention to.
La nicotina es
Oh, fucking ads. Ice, is this what you were mentioning before?
Yes, the Congress Plaza
The man sounded really
is very
excited.
famous because not only is it it's famous because a lot of former presidents like Theodore Roosevelt, Franklin D. Roosevelt, Hoover Grant, Grover Cleveland, they all visited this hotel, what makes it a very notable hotspot. But at the same time, it had a lot of suicides.
Oh,
A lot. It's so bad to one of the points that one of the rooms in this hotel was barred off because of speculated ghost activity, high levels.
okay. Moving on to this.
Congress Plaza Hotel is one of the most haunted places in Chicago, if not the most haunted place. There's room 441. There have been
Yep,
reports
441.
of objects moving around the room on their own. Also, people waking up in the middle of the night to the silhouette of a dark figure of a woman standing at the foot of their bed. And there's also reports of having the covers ripped off of them in the middle of the night. You can stay in the room in room 441, yeah, if you like.
But what should haunt Chicagoans about the Congress Plaza Hotel is that it was the site of the single longest strike in American history. 10 years, the custodial staff were on strike to get a living wage, and they failed. After 10 years, they were broken. Chicagoans should be haunted by the class inequity that the labor movement tried to address back in the 19th century and tries to address today with the Fight for 15.
Just a reminder, I love the change of music that they put to the Ghost Hunter and the Historian. And actually, I get more a little bit more scared by the Historian side of things. God damn.
Reality is reality is weirder than fiction.
Yeah. Ice. Lincoln Park.
Oh god. Oh god. Oh god.
He went from
Um,
guys, pay attention. He didn't say that shit's haunted, that ass is haunted. He went full phasmophobia flashbacks.
Lincoln Park. What can I say about it? I mean, you got a nice zoo.
You're trying to fix this, right?
I'm hitting the copium hard. I'm hitting the copium immaculately.
Okay.
Too much copium.
If you go to Lincoln Park Zoo,
Correction, not enough.
specifically, it's the
Oh.
barn that is haunted in Lincoln Park Zoo. The reason why it is haunted is because it's built on Chicago City Cemetery, Chicago's first cemetery.
And all the bodies, with a few exceptions, were relocated to other cemeteries because it was low, swampy ground. It wasn't very good. I mean, high water, bodies had a tendency to pop up out of the ground. So you can see how it can become an urban legend of haunting.
Dr. Lester Fisher, he was the director there at Lincoln Park Zoo. And when he was first building the barn, they unearthed, I think it was 10 bodies from the Chicago City Cemetery that were still buried there. And he contacted the city of Chicago for a few times. You know, I think it was for a couple of weeks, but nobody ever responded back to him. So he just took the executive decision and decided to put the bodies back. And those were where the hauntings take place. People have reported of hearing voices inside the barn. There's also been reports of seeing people walking around wearing clothing from the early 1800s.
Cogently, perhaps, Lincoln Park, very close to the cemetery area, was the site of the St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
2122 Clark Street. The garage is gone now. There's just a parking lot and a lawn that's
Prohibition era.
there. People have heard the dog Highball barking, who was in the garage at the time during the massacre. They've also reported of hearing machine gun fire coming from the site.
You know, if the St. Valentine's
Oh, the Valentine's Day Massacre. Oh, I didn't mention this during the Prohibition. So remember how we was talking about where that they would, the public was very 50-50 about how they felt about the gangsters because they were funding the city.
Yeah, because a gangster with a
You know,
machine
some
gun
people
is not
like
the
them.
same. A gangster with a machine gun is not the same as a gangster without a machine gun.
Well, the Valentine's Day Massacre, that's when it got not so 50-50.
Yeah, it makes sense.
They kind of took they kind of had people from the mafia dressed up as police officers to trick rivals. They lined up a few members of the rival gangs into a wall. It just, in the nicest way to put it, cleaned house.
Yeah.
And it was messy. So after that got put all over the news about how it went down, a lot of people's perspective changed about the mafia.
Yeah. So, little reminder.
Who knew
Well,
that
little joke.
Massacre.
people
They've
didn't like
also
firing
reported hearing
squads?
machine gun fire coming from the
Uh,
site.
You know, if the
so, when the ghost hunter says, "Oh fuck, why did I do?" Okay.
In the massacre, they've also reported of hearing machine gun fire coming from this.
This small thing. They also reported a hearing machine gun fire coming from the site. That's Mexico in 99%. Well, 90% of the territory, and that's not a ghost hunting. So yeah.
Site.
You know, if the St. Valentine's Day Massacre haunts Chicago, it should be about the legacy of
It's all fun and
organized
games
crime
till
in this town,
possession
which
happens.
includes not
True.
just the corruption of politicians and judges and the police department, but it also includes the kind of racial violence that we see today, or racialized violence, where there are neighborhoods that are marginal, where crime thrives. Today, as we confront a city where certain neighborhoods are marginalized and more violent than other neighborhoods, where that violence is in part fueled by the drug trade, that's the same thing that fueled the killings of Prohibition. To this very day, the city is haunted by gang violence in a very literal way. We don't need guys with fedoras and Thompson submachine guns disappearing through walls to be haunted by gang violence. Gang violence is part of the reality of the city.
Hmm. Oh fuck. Makes sense.
Right. Y'all ready to wrap this up?
Yep.
What about you, Tori?
I think we cover.
And I do need to hit the bed soon.
Yeah, I think it's time to hit it up. Give me a second. So, guys, as the rule goes, we need to end this stream with a rate. So, if there is a streamer you would like to support, but before all that, I mean, right now you can put a name and I will search it. But before we continue with that, thank you, Mocha. Thank you, Ice, for coming tonight. You guys are
No
invited to
problem.
any future episodes
Of
if you
course.
want to be part of.
We still gotta do a state of gaming podcast. I
Oh
want to hear.
yes.
I need to hear Mocha's input about gaming nowadays. I'm
I'm about
pretty
to
sure
say.
she's gonna have some very unfiltered things to say.
Yeah. We still have the Gamer Gate, if you remember, episode that
Yeah, I remember.
I haven't scheduled yet, so we still have that to see. But
Alrighty.
just a reminder, Mocha, would you like to mention your social media? Where can we find you?
My Twitter is Mokarui X. I don't really use any other social media besides my Twitter. So
Okay. Give me a second. I'm gonna put the link to that in a moment. And okay, give me a second. I need to put the Twitter link and the Twitch link because, as it was mentioned before, Mocha is also a VTuber streamer on Twitch. Okay, here's the Twitter link for Mocha channel, for Mocha webpage, and here's the one for. Wait, I opened something. Oh, this is the one. That's the Twitter, Twitch, and And that's it. Ice, would you like to mention
Awesome.
your social media?
Well, so far my Twitter, which is enigmatic-ice153, and my Twitch is straightforward, enigmatic-ice. Don't worry, I'll provide the links for you, good sir.
I got the links.
Okay,
He's prepared.
Not so much,
he's
but
super
thank you.
prepared.
uh,
Mm, By the way, Mocha, is there anybody you would suggest rating?
Not right now. I'm sure you have better suggestions.
Taking a look right now, see who's online.
so everybody on chat can
No,
participate as well, so don't forget that.
well,
Moku, Andy, everybody else. If you want somebody, if you have a raid suggestion,
yeah. The only person I see is Chroma. Crow and Chroma. That that's the only person I see right now. I'm gonna type his name out if you want to take a look.
Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna check real quick.
Check him.
Don't worry, Andy. It doesn't need to be someone doing something similar.
yeah, just
Oh, he's on.
anybody.
Okay, Crow One Chroma is
The
on.
very upbeat lad. Love him. He's always optimistic.
Okay, so in that case, since Ice is the one presenting this
Wait, hold on.
Twitch
Andy
stream.
got one.
Oh, Andy, who do you have?
He
Shells.
mentioned shells.
Let's do a
So be
quick
our chat
check.
streamer.
Shells.
She's
And
on a BR. She's not Chelsea Shan.
Chelsea. Okay, yeah, yeah, okay. Oh, she's on
She's
stream.
on a BRB.
She's on a BRB. Hmm. Okay, let's keep it. Let's put type one if you do the if we do the raid to Crow One Chroma, or and type two if you believe Chelsea Chan to the raid to her. Okay, so we go with Crow One. Oh god, I mess up.
Oh, oh, don't worry. I'm about to set up a raid message for you. I think I
Yeah,
know a perfect one.
because I deleted the last one getting drunk. That was a mistake.
We gotta make you a new one.
I need to make a new one actually. Okay. So without further ado, the raid is on. Thank you everybody for coming here. Probably tomorrow this podcast episode is gonna be on YouTube. Here's all the social media I have, and for certain situations, I have opened Dono in my case, but that's something that the explanation is on Twitter, so you can check it there. Anyway, thank you everybody for coming here. Thank you guys for coming here. You guys know that you are invited to future episodes. And see you guys probably tomorrow, because as I mentioned yesterday, the the IDK stream season 2 are on, and it's gonna be the whole month of October.
Let's go. Let's go.
Bye bye.
Oh, baby.
Yay!
And the raid was a success.